Good morning, TikTok. I wanted to hop on and do a quick little TikTok about friendship betrayal, how you know your friend is going to betray you or your friend has betrayed you. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones, and I work with people who have experienced abuse in a lot of their relationships. And one of the things that I notice a lot about people that are healing or in recovery from abusive relationships, a lot of them, once they get out of either intimate partnerships or relationships with their parents, find out that their friends are just as abusive, if not more so, than those people that they were very aware of, that were historically abusing them. So one of the ways that, in particular in women friendships, I see this more commonly, but with women, that you, I think there's a huge sign that a woman is going to betray you before the friendship even starts. And that means like while you guys may be sort of hanging out and getting to know each other, one of the things that I've noticed with women that are most likely going to show poor character is if, for example, if they had a friendship with a woman prior to you, if they're smearing her name, if they're talking poorly about her, if they're spilling all of her secrets and things that they may have shared in confidence and using that to try and bond with you, or just sort of, being a mean girl essentially about what her and a former friend have shared. That's a sure sign that if she's doing it to that woman, she's also most likely going to do that to you. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I have seen men do this too, where if they're doing that, then they're most likely going to betray you. And that's something you could peep even before the friendship even starts, while you're gauging this person and deciding whether or not you want to continue to get to know this person further. Just sort of see how they talk about former people that they no longer have a relationship with, or maybe even it's not even that. Maybe they just got into a conflict, and so if they got into a conflict and this person then goes for the jugular and starts to really degrade and put that person down, spill all of their secrets, to me that's very telling, and that's a huge red flag with a person. And I think that's one thing. And so going into, maybe after you guys have formed a friendship already, I think another red flag is a person that's always late. And I know that this could be controversial, but I think of it like if a person is consistently late with you, that means that they don't prioritize spending time with you. So they can't or they don't or won't make a conscious effort to show up on time and be present and available for you. And this isn't like a couple minutes late. This is like someone who's an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours late, or maybe doesn't even show up at all, or calls to cancel at the very last minute. And this is something that is more consistent. Number three, if especially in women friendships or even male friendships, if that woman or that person is making a conscious effort to be friends with your ex, if you and your ex went through a tumultuous relationship, and that person, the only way that they're connected to your ex is through you, meaning that they didn't have a relationship beforehand, but even still, it's something to be very cognizant of. But they go out of their way and make a conscious effort to stay connected to your ex, or start moving in closer to your ex, or inviting your ex over, inviting your ex to events, or wanting to hang out. I think that is something to definitely be mindful of. And another thing I think, when you're being mindful of friendship betrayal, is you look at that person's their integrity and how they move through relationships. So an example of that would be for myself, I'll use myself as an example. I don't have any friends that are cheaters. So if they're if you have a friend that believes in infidelity and doesn't mind doing that, and they have no problem doing that, and or they may cheat, or they may cheat with a friend's ex, or they may sneakily hook up with someone who was married to or seriously involved with a former friend, or things like that, without, and they're kind of doing it behind the other person's back. And that is a sure sign that that person is very into themselves, and they don't necessarily care about the consequences of their actions and who they may hurt. And they're very comfortable with keeping secrets in confidence, and that they are going to betray you. And so that's another example. One of the other ways that you know, to me, that a friend is going to betray you is if they're in a room with someone who doesn't like you, or who is very openly talking trash about you, and your friend is very comfortable standing idly by, laughing or engaging in the conversation. That person is not your friend, and they are not for you. And lastly, one of the ways that you know someone is not truly your friend, or is not invested in you, is that they call you to emotionally dump. And, I'm sure people like myself, who may be therapists or helpers, or, healers in some way, probably encounter this a lot, where you have people that want to call because they know who you know what you do, and they can take advantage of that. And so, you have to manage your empathy and manage how much support you're willing to give people, or if you're just a caregiver in general, and that's pretty much the role you've taken on your entire life. You have friends that call and just emotionally dump and tell you about your problems, but they never check in with you. They never see how they can show up for you. Hell, they may not even know a lot about you, just as a person, like what your favorite color is, your favorite restaurant, or, what you did yesterday, or things like that. So that's another way that someone is, the relationship is very one-sided. They're there to take from you and offer very little in return. So I think those are some of the things to look out for. And one other thing that I will say is true, especially when a friend is a narcissist, is a friend that copies you and mimics you. And so they start copying your hair. And I've had this happen, where people will copy hairstyles, copy clothes, copy shoes. I mean, we'll just run out and purchase things. We'll copy your mannerisms, how you talk, and things like that. Or try to copy, things that you do in life, like vacations, things that you purchase for yourself or whatever. When they spend a lot of time consumed with what you're doing and copying you, it's almost like they don't have an identity for themselves that they want to take yours on. That is not a friend. That is someone who is very much obsessed with you, obsessed with your lifestyle, and can be potentially dangerous in a lot of ways as well, when someone becomes obsessed to a certain degree, because that also may mean that they become obsessed with who you're involved with, and things like that. And the level of obsession can be so extreme that they feel so entitled to know every little detail about your life. So I hope that helps. Talk soon. Have a great week.